Come with me into the forest that we may heal. I am going to take y'all with me today to do a despacho, an offering to ourselves and Pachamama, and kind of break down what it means to build a tangible prayer. And I would love it if y'all would join in with me and imbue your energy into the ceremony. Let's make some magic together and let's create some healing. I love y'all. So my process is when I get out here with Pachamama, I open myself up to be a vessel and to go where I feel led. And what we want to do is open up our awareness to the plants, to the trees, to the stone nation, to Mother Earth herself, to the fays and fairies. And we listen to their guidance whenever we are drawn or called towards something that would like to be included in the ceremony. For instance, we have some beautiful flowers here. These ones who are saying, "Take me with you." So I'm going to bring them along. One thing is we always ask the plant if it would like to come with us, if it's okay that we pick it. And you want to listen for that response. You'll know in your heart. She says, "Take me with you," of course. And this one over here asked to come as well, so we will bring these along for the ceremony. As I walk by, this guy starts waving at me. He said, "Hey, take me." And he's telling me to take 3 leaves from the bottom here for our new intentions to be set in what's called a kinti. Excuse me, a kintu. Kinti is the hummingbird spirit. We thank you, my friend, for offering yourself into this ceremony. Naho. Friends here are requesting to come along, so I reach down, get closer, and ask who would like to join right here. Thank you, my friend. What an honor. As well, right here. Thank you, my brother. Is there one more? I feel, yes, aho. Thank you, sister. We appreciate you. With gratitude, aho. My great sister here, grandmother, I should say, requests that I would use some of her roots to ground our new intentions. It would be an honor, sister. Here? No? Okay. Here, that's it. Thank you, sister, thank you. Pachamama tells me X marks the spot. And we have arrived. So as I get out here and find the spot, I realize I don't have some of the materials, which is completely fine. One thing to remember with medicine and medicine work, my friends, my family, is however things happen is exactly how they're supposed to happen. And the intuitive guidance that I'm receiving right now is that Pachamama would like me to create sort of like an altar despacho offering to her. And she had led me to a specific area and told me that X marks the spot, which is where I found right here on this cross of trees. And she would like me to set up our altar in this area, just as a grid point, a beacon point for activation of energies on the planet to help ground higher dimensional consciousness and the access to those energies onto Mother Earth again. to rise her up to a higher vibration. What an honor it is. So when I am doing my medicine work, I like to try to always wear my chuyo, as they're called in the Q'ero tradition. And to me, this just represents almost like stepping into ceremony. And it's almost like when you go into a church or something, you want to conduct yourself with honor and with the betterment of all beings and all timelines and dimensions and universes, to find peace, happiness, and joy. And so when we don this cap, we like to blow 3 breaths of life into the cap. And what that means to me is connecting with the Holy Trinity, the personhood and the Great Spirit who is in us, through us, as us always. And in that resonance allows you to step forward as the Holy Spirit, as that Bhagavan energy, as that enlightened Christ consciousness. And so that would look like, normally, we hold it open and while connecting with the true core essence of ourself, that conscious awareness, that loving awareness, that sacredness, that divinity that is within each and every single one of us. And here we are, family. Nice little area in the forest. And so kind of first step for me normally is opening some sacred space. And I'm gonna do a really condensed version of this, just so I don't keep y'all too long. But we wanna call in the 4 directions, our guides, creator, and just make this a sacred space. So call to the east and the rising sun in the east. We ask that you would bless this medicine here today with your new birthing energy and the new beginnings of the rising sun, and using your fire, your heat, your energy that would burn down any aspects of ourself that no longer serve us. Ho mitakwiyasin, ho mitakwiyasin, ho mitakwiyasin. We call on the eagle and the condor and ask that they would fly together again in the hearts of all beings in all timelines and dimensions and universes, that we would merge the masculine and the feminine together once more on this plane and inside all beings and all things. Ho mitakwiyasin, ho mitakwiyasin. We call on the south and the earth and the depths of the south. We call on our familial ties, our adolescence, our becoming, and we ask that you would help us to learn these lessons with grace, that we would be able to shed these skins as the great mothers of water do. We call to you, Sachamama, Amaru, Ampui, Ampui, great mothers of water. We ask that you would wrap your coils of light around us, that we would shed our old ways as you shed your skin. Ho mitakwiyasin, ho mitakwiyasin, ho mitakwiyasin, ho. We call on the west and the waters in the cave in the west. The moon in the west. We ask that as we go into the cave of our heart, that brother bear, brother, father bear, mother, sister jaguar, you would be with us. You would grant us your strength, your bravery, your courage, that we would go into the depths of ourself, that we would have that strength to know ourselves and to step into that maturity. Ho mitakwiyasin, ho mitakwiyasin, ho mitakwiyasin. Mama Kia, Mother Moon, we ask that you would teach us to handle our emotions with grace and with honor, and that we would be a clear reflection for those around us, and that we would honor everything that they also move through. And we call to you waters. We ask that you would give us flow with all of our intentions today, that they would move from us in all directions, in all avenues of our life, and all those we connect with, that they would feel this medicine forevermore. Ho mitakriyasin, ho mitakriyasin, ho mitakriyasin, ho. Finally, we call on the north and the winds in the north. We call on completion of the old earth. We call on the birthing of this new earth, for she is here already, that we would only recognize her. We call on our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. Ho mitakriyasin, ho mitakriyasin, ho mitakriyasin, ho. We call to that divine spark within all things, and we call to you, Creator. We would like to give thanks for our lives, for every second of every day, of every hour, every month, every year of this miracle that is unfolding. What an honor it is. On this Father Day, on this Father's Day, we call to you, great Father, great Mother, Father, Mother, Life, who has given us life. We honor you with this medicine today, and we ask that you would hold space for all peoples, that they would again remember themselves in truth, that we would find peace and harmony once more. Aho mitakriyasin. Aho. I have all of the materials that we gathered on the journey, and I'm just going to lay them out on what is like my ceremony cloth here. And once I get everything ready, then I'll kind of judge what wants to go in what order and what it's going to represent specifically, and then we'll get into the ceremony. So as I connect with this fern here, she asked that we would represent the death of the person we had thought ourselves to be, and that we would use this to allow that aspect of ourself to crumble. And that's the key to this medicine, is connecting something tangible with our subconscious so that it can use this to physically taste, touch, smell for the healing. It needs something to connect to so that it can add value and meaning to that. So to me, we want to connect with the time that we felt most that a version of us was passing along, that we were moving into a new chapter. And so we want to think of it almost like as the excitement of the birthing of the new, and not necessarily as like necessarily connecting with the energy of the death, but it's that ending which allows that new blossoming. So we want to connect with, the time that we felt most in our life, like we were moving from one version to another and allowing that version to pass, that we would be birthing anew. And when you have that energy, friends and family, please blow 3 breaths of life, of that feeling and that intention into this fern. Oh, mitakriyasin. She asked to be placed down here. So as I connect with this pine needles, the dead pine needles here, they ask that this would be a surrender of all the areas where we felt like we weren't safe, that we had to protect ourselves, and that we would step into a space of divine protection, knowing that wherever we are is where we are supposed to be always, and that we would have faith that the Great Spirit who moves through each and every single one of us does so with the Most High for each one of us in mind, and that we would release this need for protection. So to me, that feels like faith. So we want to connect with the feeling and the time in our life that we felt the most faithful, the most trusting, the most protected, without needing some outer thing to protect ourselves, that wherever we were home. And when you have that place, that time, that feeling, 3 breaths of life to imbue these pine needles with that energy. Yeah. Ooh. Next we have the pieces from the dying body of one of our tree brothers and sisters. And they ask that this would represent that decomposition and that transformation from all of that heaviness to create that nutrient-dense soil from which our new seeds may sprout from. So we want to connect with the time that we felt nutrient-dense and full of vital energy and full of all of the things that we needed. We have all of the building blocks here to create and to sustain us moving forward. We want to connect with that aspect of self. When we have it, friends and family, please, 3 breaths of life. Naho mitakuyasin, naho mitakuyasin. Next we have our soft leaves here, or stalks, I'm not sure what you would call them, that ask to be the bed for our new intentions. And we almost want to think of, say, like a diaper or clouds, just like very soft energy, comforting energy. And we want to connect with the time in our life and the energy of what it feels like, and really feel that comfort and that softness. And whenever you're ready, friends and family, we want to blow 3 breaths of life into these stalks. We'll place them for the bed of our new intentions. To make what's called a kintu, you'll have 3 leaves. They're normally much smaller than these, but these specifically ask to go along, so we're going to use these. But it's sort of in this pattern here, and this is going to represent the Holy Trinity. Nope. It's hard to do with one hand, but it's going to represent the Holy Trinity above, below, within, and the aspect of ourself that is the Great Spirit moving through us, as well as the person and the combined resonance of that Holy Spirit moving through us. And we would like to ask and give thanks, Great Spirit, for all of the joy that we have experienced in this life. And we'd like to thank you for everything to come, for all of the joy that will be experienced in our lifetimes. And we pray and we ask that you would guide us, that we would move through any difficult times with grace, and that we would see the joy in those times as well, and that we would always walk with you in our hearts. Aho mitakuyasin, aho. We have this moss, and it has asked to represent resilience. This moss grows in the craziest places, and it is very resilient. And so we want to connect with the time in our life where we felt that resilience, that ability to push through whatever, and that no matter what, we were going to be okay, and we were going to do what needed to be done. to become our truest self and to allow that shining light to flow from us. So we want to think of the time where we felt the most resilient in our life. And when you have it, friends and family, please blow 3 breaths of life into this moss. Aho Mitakuyasin. Should go right there on top of our new intentions. We have our tree bark here to represent the protection of our new intentions. So we want to think in our life the time that we felt the most protected and the most protection as well. That we gave that protection to ourselves, and also that we felt that that protection was with us, granted by the Spirit. So wherever that takes you, that feeling of protection, friends and family, of safety, we want to think of that. And we want to blow 3 breaths of life into this tree bark. We place it down on top of our new intentions in that moss to represent our resilience. We have our friend here who reminds me very much of a spider. The 8 leaves there makes me think of the great weaver. And that's what the intuition that I'm getting that this would like to represent. So we want to think of our ability and the time in our life that we felt most able to weave together difficult situations and to connect all different aspects and different areas of our life in a balanced fashion, like a spider web. So we want to think of that time where we had that balance and that connection to all different aspects of self. And we want to blow 3 breaths of life into this for that intention to imbue into our prayers here. So when you're ready, friends and family, 3 breaths of life. Aho Mitakuyasin. And we place you down here. Aho Mitakuyasin. Fern. Aho, aho, aho. It looks like a Christmas tree, right? But this is going to represent new growth and new blossoming. So we want to think of all those aspects of our life connected in uniform fashion, that we are balanced. And with that balanced energy, we want to think of the time in our life that we had the most new growth and expansive new energy. And whenever you're ready and you have that feeling of what it feels like for that growth and that expansion, we want to blow 3 breaths of life into this fern. Oh, Mitakuyasin. Here we are here. So the energy that I'm getting with this is a baton, like a relay race. And so we want to think about our ancestors and that it's our time now to take this baton and to run our race. And we want to take the energy of this new growth from the fern and we want to take that and run with it. So we want to think of a time in our life when we really picked up the baton in life and we really ran with it. And when you have that and you're ready with that, family, we want to blow 3 breaths of life into this. Oh, Mitakuyasin. Oh. 2 small pine cones who requested to come along for the journey, and I was very unsure as to what they wanted to represent. But as I'm sitting here with them, the energy that I get is that they would like to represent the masculine and the feminine side coming together. So, as equals, that's very important here. So we just want to think of a time where we were very balanced in our masculine and feminine. And whenever you have that and you're ready, friends and family, we want to blow 3 breaths of life of that balance and imbue that balance into these pine cones here. Oh, mitakuyasin. Oh, mitakuyasin. We have our big pine cone. And to me, this represents the opening of our third eye and the coming into wholeness and unity as a people, as a person, understanding ourself as whole. Understanding that we are the entire ocean in a drop, as well as being a drop in the ocean. Understanding that we are that which we seek, that we have always been home, and that inside of our heart is the one in which all of us are. Oh, mitakuyasin. So when you think of the time in your life you felt the most unified and connected, as we have a hawk fly over. I love you, Great Spirit. We want to think of the time we felt the most unified. And whenever we have that, friends and family, we want to blow 3 breaths of life into this pine cone. Oh, mitakuyasin. So I'm going to place this here in between the masculine and the feminine to bridge that into unity. Oh, mitakuyasin. Oh, mitakuyasin. Next, we have this root that was given to us by that great-grandmother tree who had fallen. She asked that this would represent us rooting these new intentions from that place of oneness all the way down into the very center of our being, like to the very center of Mother Earth, to the very center of creation itself, that we would find that unity. So we want to think in the time in our life where we felt the most grounded, the most rooted, the most connected, and in our body and safe and in our root chakra, because that's what it is to feel grounded, is to feel safe and rooted and protected. And so we want to think of that time where we felt that rooted energy and that stability and that connection to our very center. And whenever you're ready, friends and family, we want to blow 3 breaths of life into this root. Oh, mitakuyasin. We're going to place this going down from this oneness down here. Now next I have our friends here, and they're telling me they would like to represent peace. Oh, Mama Waira came through with the winds. She loves that. Thank you, Mama Waira. We want to think of the time in our life where we felt the most peaceful. Really get in touch with that deep depth of peace. And whenever you're ready, friends and family, 3 breaths of life. Aho mitakuyasin. Place these here. Here we have these, our friends who would like to represent vitality. So we want to think of a time in our lives when we were vital, when we had that energy within us, like the sun, that we were shining and we were lit up from the inside out and we were inspired. So we want to connect with that energy, that redness, that fire for life. And when we have that, friends and family, we want to blow 3 breaths of life into these stalks. Oh, mitakuyasin. We place these here to coincide, to mix with that peace. Oh, mitakuyasin. Our flower friends here, and they are going to represent beauty. So we want to think of a time in our life where we felt that beauty emanating from us, from life, that we felt beautiful. And not just physically, all aspects of ourself. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We want to connect with that beauty. And whenever you're ready, friends and family, we want to blow 3 breaths of life. Oh, metakyasin. Oh. Those will be placed on top there. And last but not least, friends and family, I have this dandelion. And it's funny, that made me think of a happy lion, a dandelion. It's silly, but it's so funny. Especially with, we're closing in on Lionsgate, even though it's a couple months out still. But this is going to represent freedom. And that activation of this new wish and of blowing those dandelion petals out. So we want to think of that freedom that comes along with this and the time in our life that we felt the most free. So friends and family, when you're connected with that sense of freedom and what that vibration feels like, we want to blow 3 breaths of life of that freedom into this dandelion. Oh, metakyasin. Place there on top. Now that we have our little altar made out here in the middle of our Mother Nature, our Pachamama, our Madre Tierra, it's important, friends and family, to close this sacred space and to allow all who have come to assist us to move forward in their journey. We give thanks to the East, to the eagle and the condor, to the new beginnings that have been birthed here today. Ho metakyasin, ho metakyasin. We give thanks to the South, to the Mother of Waters, Pachamama Amaru. We give thanks to you. We give thanks to Mother Earth. We give thanks to our new shedding of skin and our new selves that have been birthed with this energy. Oh, metakyasin. Oh, metakyasin. That we have learned our lessons and are ready to move into that next phase of our life. Oh, metakyasin. Oh. We give thanks. We give thanks to the West, to the Brother Bear, Great Mother, Sister Jaguar. We thank you for your bravery, your strength, for assisting us in this maturation process as a people, as individuals as well, and as a whole. What an honor it is. We give thanks to you. Mother Moon, Mother of Waters, Mama Kia, Mama Kocha. We give thanks, and we ask that you would provide flow for these new intentions and maturity, that we would move forward with grace and honor. Ho metakyasin, ho metakyasin, ho. We give thanks to the North. We give thanks to Kinti, hummingbird spirit, who is always with us in the North, who teaches us to fly only to the sweet nectar of life. We give thanks to the buffalo, who teaches us to be steadfast, and that the fastest way through the storm is going into it. We ask that we would have the steadfastness to go into our storms of life, knowing that the fastest way out is through. And we give thanks to you, Great Spirit, who is with and within each one of us, through us, as us always. It is an honor beyond a belief to have this life, to have been born, to have the opportunity to walk this Mother Earth, to have this opportunity to live, to breathe, to experience love and life. We give thanks to you, Great Spirit, to the Most High, who resides within every single one of us. Aho mitakuyasin, all my relations. May this medicine reach you